As you can see, we're almost done with the back here. We got a little door that it's drying from the paint inside the house because it's starting to get cold over here, as you can see. Today we are starting to build our bed platform. The idea is we're gonna have a platform here, and in the back we're planning to make a big drawer with a pull-out that we're gonna be able to put kitchen stuff to cook from outside, and different kind of storage. In the front here we're gonna have drawers too. In the time being, what we're making is a straight platform going from side to side. There's different ways to do it. You can make it from aluminum, from metal, if you have a welding machine, or if you have a higher budget. The best way for us is to use wood with the tool we got, and I mean, it works out pretty good. We've done it in the past. We never had any issue. The way we're gonna do it is we're gonna mount it's around between a 2x3 and a 2x4 because we're in Poland and it's in metric, but figure out a 2x4 on the side because on those Sprinter there's a solid rib that you can mount your 2x4, and we're gonna have two legs for extra support that's gonna be mounted on the side of the van and on the floor, and the whole structure is gonna hold itself together. We put some material behind our 2x4 to eliminate the squeaking sound because sometime with the van flexing you could have wood on metal and it can create a little bit of an annoying sound. So it's to try out. We had some extra material that we're gonna use there, and we'll see how it goes from that. And all the wood's gonna be screwed down to the structure of the van and to the floor, and the whole structure is gonna hold itself together. Still gonna have enough flex to support the van because the van is flexing all the time when you're traveling and when you hit some bumpy road. So that's why I put my wood on top of the 2x4, not in between. So the wood's gonna be like this. It's still gonna be able to move through the screw a little bit. Maybe that's not the way everybody does it, but that's the way we're doing, and that's the way we've done in the past. We never had any issues. So you can have a look how we mount it, and hopefully you enjoy the experience. Though it's mounted here, the 2x4 is mounted directly to the solid structure of the van. Behind this wood here, we got the material to eliminate the squeaking when it's wood on steel. And this part here is the solid part of the van. So we pre-drilled those big metal screw here. We pre-drilled them. We oversized the hole so the head is flush. And we stagger the hole to spread the force. So when I say stagger, one screw is up, one screw is down, and it goes like this to spread the force. From there we have two legs that I spade bit the hole, so the wood screws are on the top going here, and there's wood screw going on the top the opposite way on both sides. The legs are screwed down to the actual metal structure of the van, and they're screwed down to our plywood at the floor. So the whole thing ain't gonna be moving. We're gonna have that both sides, and from there we're gonna have a platform. That's how it's gonna sit here. We are done with the bed platform, at least now, and we're gonna start building our seat that's gonna be in front of the bed. We did some testing with our plastic bin to figure out the height and the dimension. Now we got them, we're gonna build a frame. We're gonna build a framing out of 4x3 centimeter. We used that wood because it was the best quality and price for the quantity we're buying. The different 4x4 centimeter were way more expensive, and 3x3 were way more expensive. So we choose that one just for the price reason. And we're gonna build that framing, and after that we're gonna cover it up with plywood, probably something like 6mm on top of it. We're gonna sand it down and eventually paint it or cover it with PVC. We will see in the future. finishing up with our bench area. So the idea here is we're gonna have a table sliding out from under where I'm standing, which is gonna be good for eating. We're gonna have 2 seats.
Today we're going to be installing the vinyl flooring. We're doing that to protect our floor. You won't really be able to see it much because there's going to be all kinds of storage under here, but it's going to protect the floor from scratching or any water leaks, and yeah, we'll see how it turns out.
We're on the middle of building 2 side compartments that's gonna end up to be over our wheel well, and they're gonna be 2 long compartments that we can use for storage for our backpack, camera gear, all sorts of stuff. And we're gonna show you how we build them. It's basically just a bunch of 2x2 all together, and then we put plywood, and then we're gonna have 2 door on the hinges that's gonna open on each side. It's gonna be 2 long compartments that we can use to store just about anything. My next project is setting up our propane tank. We're gonna use the propane for our gas stove in the kitchen area, and we're gonna have a heated shower outside that's gonna run on the propane. So the idea is usually on the RV they store those bottles on the outside, and on a camper van like that, especially when it's not made to be camper van originally, we're gonna store it on the inside. To be as safe as possible, we're gonna build a sealed contained cabinet. So it's gonna be made from wood, and we're gonna seal all the inside with silicone. And with those propane tanks, they have a relief valve on them, and what's happening is as the temperature change, if the propane expand or shrink, if I could use the term, it's gonna release the overpressure valve, and we don't want the propane in the air. So from this valve, we're gonna run a hose right down to the floor, and since propane is heavier than air, this is gonna have a hole into the floor of the van, and then the propane could go down there. So the idea is to seal the propane tank to avoid having gas in the camper van, and then have it vented through the floor of the camper van so we can evacuate on the outside. We are getting to the final detail for our underbed storage, and right now we got the propane locker that it's finished. It's all sealed up. We have a drill a hole to the floor with a big hole saw, and then we run a piece of PVC pipe that we glue, and then we seal with silicone, and that's gonna allow the propane, since it's heavier than air, to escape to the floor. From that, we have a 90-degree angle reducer because the box that we built was short and it was hitting the top of the propane tank. So we managed to get the 90-degree reducer. We run the propane specific line through the outside the box that we seal with silicone to make sure there's no air leak. And then from there, we run the line with those plastic clips that are like this. That allows you to remove the hose if you need to do maintenance or if you have a problem. They're not fixed and they clip, and they're gonna reduce the vibration because we use rubber hose. We didn't use copper for 2 reasons. we had so much line to go across with different curve, and we didn't have the proper tool to do copper line, so we decided to go with flexible. It was more simple and cheaper, and with those plastic clip, I'm not worried about any vibration issue. We got a manifold from a gas shop. We got it assembled over there to make sure there's no leak, and the guy offered it for free, so it was less work for us. And then the gas line's gonna run across on the other side to the shower area, and there's another gas line that's gonna go to the front of the kitchen. Both's gonna have a separate valve, one valve on the tank and two separate valves either on the shower or the propane stove in the front that we're gonna be able to turn on and off. Slowly we're starting to have something that looks kind of like a camper. Eventually we'll get there. Right now, our next project, we got our propane locker, and we made some compartment here. This is gonna be storage for water jug and shower area. So here our plan is to make a thick kitchen that's gonna slide out. So it's gonna be a huge drawer that's gonna slide out about 1.2 meter, and then we're gonna have a barbecue and a hot plate. And we're maybe planning to put a sink to do some laundry and clean up dishes with the shower with hot water outside. So that's our plan. We got some heavy duty drawer slide, I think that's how you say that. That's gonna come by the mail probably hopefully tomorrow, and today we're gonna start building the box and the whole structure for it. Build this box that's gonna slide here. It's gonna be our slide out kitchen with storage. And this little mistake that we did is we built the box before we got the hinges. We ordered hinges online. We didn't want to wait, so we took the measurement, but we were off by a little bit, so I had to make some spacer to make sure that the drawer slide hinges, they're properly spaced for the box. And now they're all mounted. It's super solid. They're supposed to be 136 kilogram capacity. I don't know if it's true, but it looks quite heavy duty. And now we're gonna mount the box to the drawer slides and see if it works.
Said we're almost done with the back, but almost can make a huge difference because it all looks so raw. We have just decided to paint it, all the elements that's gonna stick out, to paint it black, because we have used different types of wood, different shapes. So we think once we paint it black, they're gonna look more equally. So our project for now is to cover all of this in black and then put the shelves back in place. And I think at that point, the back of the truck's gonna be done.
As you can see, we're almost done with the back here. We got a little door that it's drying from the paint inside the house because it starts to get cold over here, as you can see. And today we got a 8 to 10 degrees around noon. So we're gonna do our final touch here. We're gonna install the white PVC panel like we did everywhere in the camper. Instead of just leaving it on the black paint, we're gonna glue the white panel, and then we're gonna have a nice trim. So it's gonna be a nice final touch at the end. So we're gonna attack this today. We're making progress now. We're working on something a little bit more fun. We're gonna install our slide out table. We found a nice piece of pine wood at the store that was exactly the size we need to put under the bed, so we didn't even need to cut it, so it's perfectly square. We like that. And we ordered those hinges. We had them at the store, but it was about half the price online, so it worth the time to be patient for 2-3 days waiting time. And those hinges are heavy duty. They're good for like 50 kilogram or 60 kilogram. I don't know if it's true, but they're well made. They're 600 millimeters, so you're gonna have a slide out. This is gonna get out 60 centimeter or 600 by 800 wide, and that's gonna be our table for eating, use a computer, play cards, all sorts of good stuff. So we mount those hinges under the bed, and then we're gonna mount those tracks on the table. We gotta assemble the whole thing, see if it works.
This is our slide out table. That's how it looks when you take it out, and it is kind of boring. So we have decided to make some painting on it, some design. So I'll be working on this and we'll see how it gets out. I knew it's going to make more sense to create the design on the computer, so I actually created a map of the world on Photoshop now. I'm printing it off in sections and I'm gonna trace it on the table after. As you see, I have placed the printed parts of my world map on the table, and I have stick it with the tape, and I'll be tracing it right now, and after that I'll be just painting it with marker or black paint. This is the final effect of the map. I hand painted it. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm going to be putting 3 clear coats on it just to protect, because it's going to be our table when we're going to eat, and I don't want that map to get scratched.